Do we go on 3 or do we go?
I mean, I never count down to peeing, but if that's the way you do it.
It's already begun.
What's begun?
Man, not this again.
What? What are you talking about?
I'm gonna stab you through the heart with the fucking broadsword.
Package delivery, huh? Anyway, we are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 40 of No Bucks Given, right here on the Horny Goat YouTube channel and the Horny Goat Podcasting Network, where you listen to us on your favorite podcasting platforms. It is the show where we talk about everything and anything that we just decide, whatever the hell we decide to watch or listen to or talk about here on the show. We got some wonderful people here joining us live here on the stream, so appreciate you guys coming in. We have a lot to talk about here. It's episode 40 of No Bucks Given, which I saw like the setup for the stream like an hour or so ago, because, you know, we like to prepare well in advance, and I can't believe it's been 40 episodes. But then again, it's like, you know, we started this at the beginning of the year, and so we're almost hitting like the one. Can you believe like we've already almost done this for a full freaking year? It's I hate feeling this old sometimes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I can't really believe it. When I was like putting together the thumbnail, I was like, 40. What the fuck? We just had 37 twice.
I know, that's even crazy. We got a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to discuss. Of course, I'm not alone. We got with me here the wonderful Horny Goat crew. Here we got the power couple, JP and Heather, and of course everyone's favorite bear from upstairs, Canadian Basement. What's up, fam? How you guys doing this fine evening?
Happy Thanksgiving, Basement.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, guys.
Doesn't count.
Giving me thanks. What?
What?
You just said what I was thinking. Like, thanks for giving me thanks. What? Oh God. But we got some amazing people joining us in the chat. We have a pretty full crew here tonight. It's actually pretty high up there. So if you guys are new here, hit the subscribe button, hit the likes. You guys make sure you follow up every time we go live here on the channel. I see Cora left us a nice little note. Thank you, Cora. We got a Roo, Shin Chu, Real Cody, Jerick and Booyan. We got Alpha, Johnny Ray joining us in the chat. What's up, Johnny Ray? We got Six. We've got Casey is Raw. And we also got Paul Arzola joining us. Thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate it as always. If you guys want to follow along with different stuff we talked about, the links are in the description for some of the stuff that we'll be talking about this evening. We're also going to talk about the Extreme Rules pay-per-view in just a second. It literally just wrapped up like, what was it, 10 minutes ago?
Yeah.
It was like just a few moments ago. I have no idea what it is. What is it? WWE? I've never heard of what is wrestling.
What's the WWE stuff you speak of?
What is that like UFC? I don't know what you're talking about.
The last match kind of was like that, I will say.
But we'll talk about all that stuff if you guys want to join us in the conversation and chat. And again, we're also on your favorite podcast network too. So if you want to listen to us to Anchor, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, whatever, all the links are in the description. So the more you listen to us on there, the more we get pushed on those favorite platforms. So appreciate it as always. So I guess should we just go right into the thick of it with
first of all,
it's the topic that everybody wants us to talk about. That's
fine. All right. Let's talk about it.
If there's
the movie The Bros really didn't do so. Oh, go ahead.
If there's anybody in the chat that are listening in some way that hasn't watched it, that doesn't want spoilers, this is your fucking warning, because it's going to be impossible to talk
now
about
and come back in like an hour.
I also wanted to mention, I haven't seen Johnny Ray in a while, but he's in the exact same boat I am. Haven't watched wrestling in a long time. This is what I came back to as well. He was a fan of The Fiend. I was a fan of Bray Wyatt more than The Fiend. But I actually watched the entire show, Connor.
Oh.
No,
yes. So let's talk about what everyone's talking about in the chat right now, which is the movie The Bros. So Billy Eichner just went off on a tangent. No, I'm kidding. We'll get there, trust me. But yes, this is your spoiler warning. I'm gonna do a quick 10-second countdown that if you do not want to be spoiled by what happened in Extreme Rules, here it is: 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So
terrible matches all around.
So just for total preface as far as where we stand on these, I didn't watch the entire show. I did keep up with social and saw some clips here and there. I saw some videos, some little tidbits here and there. I did get to check out a good chunk of the fight pit match, which we'll get there. But from what I seen, pretty all right, pretty solid show. Not the best ever, but it's no SummerSlam.
Aside
you
from
know.
a couple of matches, it was pretty good.
I didn't.
I thought the flow of the show actually moved along quicker. Like a lot of the WWE pay-per-views or premium events, excuse me,
Premium live events.
they move along so slow because there's no build to anything.
Well,
And
because
if you
they're champions
paid
not
attention,
around.
if you paid attention, they only did 6 matches. And every single one of these matches had a build to them. There's a reason that these people were in these matches, which is all that I essentially ask for when it comes to people that are feuding. Every single one of these matches had a reason for them to be in these matches, especially the main event match.
I can tell you right off the bat, like the one thing that I found refreshing is that there was like the main event, like the biggest title defended was what, the U.S. Championship,
I don't even think it was that.
women's championship, maybe.
Yeah, the women's champion.
Both women's
Yeah.
titles were on the line tonight.
Yeah, but
That was it.
they didn't have any world title matches or forced world title, and they highlighted
No mid card.
they main evented with the two big matches on here, I guess from like a booking standpoint, were matches that are grudge matches. Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle, and I Quit between Edge and Finn Balor, which was refreshing to see. And if they're going to use some pay-per-views this way, I'm all for it.
Yes.
Yes, not every pay-per-view needs to have the world champion in it, if that makes sense.
No, it makes
Yeah.
perfect sense. One
It
thing I
doesn't
didn't
need to
like,
have-
though...
Because this is why Roman Reigns' run has become boring to me, because
Every pay-per-view
every
up to this
pay-per-view
point.
he shows up and he wrestles, you know he's going to win, so why
Why
do
the
I
fuck
care?
have him?
Why do I care to watch Roman Reigns wrestle if he's going to continue to win the way he's going to continue to win?
I also like the fact that they didn't focus him because it gives moments for like, I don't know, other stars to get a shining moment on like a pay-per-view or premium live event that may not have gotten that up. Like no disrespect, but Rollins and Riddle main eventing a pay-per-view that wouldn't be happening if the Universal Championship was around.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know.
Well, I mean, what I like about it too, like you look at that match, it's the main event here, and they give a nice rub to Matt Riddle. They're trying to build him up, and this is a good way to do it. And I mean, the one thing I will say, like, I kind of wish they didn't go so heavy with the specialty matches. They had one Extreme Rules match, but every other match was like, and it wasn't like known.
I mean, every
some
match
of them,
was gimmicked.
every match was a gimmick, but like the bookending was matches that were brand new. At least I've never heard of a fucking Darby Allin Road match or some shit. What the fuck was it called?
Good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. Get your
Yeah,
shit
man.
straight. You watch the pay-per-view.
So essentially, it was just a three-man or six-man tornado tag team match with
a bar on the corner.
Yeah.
And a bunch of
Yeah,
kegs.
that's all it was.
My kind
I
of
mean,
fight.
it's something that has been done, but they added an element to it. Is all they did.
I'll say both women's matches
Alcohol.
were terribly underwhelming.
Yeah.
And
Especially
Well, I'm just gonna tell you this. I am extremely glad that Liv Morgan is not the champion anymore because she is terrible.
I don't think she's terrible, but she's definitely not world champion material.
That's what I mean. She right now that match, you know why it was underwhelming? And I said this to Heather when we were on our way back from my mom's and we were talking about this, and I'm like, you have two people that cannot carry a match having a match. Ronda Rousey can't carry a match, and Liv Morgan sure as fuck can't. So why is she champion number one? You don't put her in the ring with another person that can't carry a match. The only reason that match was there is because Ronda Rousey. It had nothing to do with Liv Morgan. It's Ronda Rousey was the headliner. She was like the most well-known person in that pay-per-view tonight. Think about that for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, they wanted to get the title off of they wanted to get the title off of fucking Liv Morgan and put it on her. But in the end, you can see like the difference between Ronda Rousey working a match, who is someone that can legitimately fight and trying to like run, I guess, the match itself, versus someone that could, like Shayna Baszler, that I'm gonna say can legitimately fight, but kind of knows wrestling beats a lot better.
Agreed.
It just looks
I
like
said
she
that
tried to make
to
it look real, but it looks so terrible.
Especially the bat hits.
Yeah, the bat hits
Oh my
were
God.
absolutely
her swinging
terrible.
the bat and then pulling up the last sentence, last second, so it's just
Yeah.
like. Ding. It's,
Best thing you can do,
honey.
you get a bat, you do the Triple H fucking the shit he did with the sledgehammer. Hold it on both
Yes.
sides and don't really even use the weapon. The strap match was terrible. I didn't think it was good at all. Really disappointing for me. Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre could have put on a much better match, and I hate strap matches anyway. But
yeah, I mean,
he-
at least carrying one that needed to happen.
Yeah.
If that didn't happen, that would have been like, well, that was a fun.
People
month
are
and a half.
saying people are bitching about it because he won. Like,
He's a new star, and you've been begging for new stars to be built. Make up your fucking mind.
Well, Karrion Kross is good. It's just like they kind of wet farted him onto the scene, and then got rid of him and brought him back.
Okay. The one thing that I will say, and then if people roll their eyes, is that it's like, oh, Triple H is bringing in these people and pushing them to the top. Yeah, you don't know shit. Do you know why? It's because the guy who's your universal. You need new heels. You need other top stars. So hey, but yeah, no. Johnny Ray said the same thing. Drew needed to lose, but that match was just terrible match. Just absolutely terrible. Yeah, I caught that too. It was just.
I was gonna say too, like, I mean, we don't really need to spend much time on all the matches and shit like that, because that's not what we're here to talk about. But the Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins match, which was in a fucking new structure, I don't mind the structure. I do think it's almost a disservice to those two to have to wrestle in a gimmick match. They're both
not that one.
They're both way better than a gimmick match, in all honesty.
Well, okay, so here's the reason
They've had regular matches, I know, but like I would have rather seen them.
This match is that match where I think that's the end of it.
Yeah, like the thing, like I've seen like trajectory for what I'm more alluding to is Seth Rollins. He always has this weird trajectory where he has like better matches in ring, and then they all culminate to some weird fucking gimmick match, and it's not great.
I would have preferred a Punjabi prison match myself personally.
Did they have dogs in that? Wasn't it a kennel match thing?
That was fucking Al Snow and Big Boss Man.
Oh, those are usually, at least this one is functional, and I would like we were talking about earlier. I would love to see this match replace this, or at least be a good stand-in for a steel cage match, because steel cage matches are boring and usually all about like escaping the ring as soon as possible.
Did you notice there were no ropes?
Yeah.
There was a lot of nothing in there.
There were no ropes, which kind of like hampers Seth Rollins' moveset quite a bit.
Yeah.
He uses ropes. He uses ropes a lot.
But, okay, so here's the thing, though. But I get what you're saying. But I kind of like the fact that now he had to find some other way to.
I agree there. Yeah. I mean,
I love the no escape option was there, so it's like you can just leave the ring, which yay.
Well, you could, but like it does nothing for you in terms of like winning and shit. You can run away.
Right. So you could do like. Let me put it this way: WWE has tried to reinvent the wheel when it comes to like steel cage matches. Sometimes they've been great, like Hell in a Cell or the Elimination Chamber. And sometimes they've been shit, like the kennel match or the Punjabi prison match. This one's kind of in the middle to me. It's not the best thing they've done, but it's definitely not
the worst.
Absolutely not. No,
it's a step in the right direction.
Actually, to be honest with you, this was also a brainchild of Matt Riddle. This is Matt Riddle's idea.
This reminded me of the
not bad, actually.
the like basically what was it called? I mentioned it to you the other night, Connor, a Lionheart match or something. Whatever the match was, it was like a submission match inside of steel cage, and the only way to win was submission or TKO.
It wasn't that like Bobby Lashley and somebody else in TNA.
It was like a used back with Ken Shamrock or like the MMA guys that originally showed up.
Yeah, something along those lines.
But I mean, I think it wasn't a bad idea. Before we talk about what happens after that match,
what do you mean?
I went back and forth in my mind whether it was a good idea to have that tease hanging over the entire event, because it kind of is bigger than
Takes
the
away from it.
event.
Yeah.
But they kind of booked it so that
This would be the biggest thing for the entire event.
they didn't like the matches were enough, I guess, and nothing like without like the world championships there and stuff. You kind of want, they kind of booked it in a way where the surprise was meant to be big, and I think they did deliver for most people on that surprise.
I think they did.
I think I will say the way they did it
Lion Den's
was
match.
very
That's it, Paul.
fitting.
Yeah.
What was that, Heather? Sorry.
The way they did the reveal was actually very fitting, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
With his character, yeah, for sure.
A couple things we had discussed too earlier before. We kind of like theorized, and most people on this fucking planet thought it was going to be Bray Wyatt coming back. And we talked a lot about like not wanting to see the character he left with.
Yes.
Especially in October, especially at a gimmick heavy pay-per-view. Which is kind of, I'm glad they didn't bring the Fiend himself back.
What I did like is they portrayed
his past,
that set of characters, and left them on the outside, and then did the little movie thing
of them all in like
how he was
cobwebs.
Singing. Yeah. So I liked it. I'm glad it's Bray Wyatt, and I think we're getting a different version. Kind of. I'm not saying it's a combination of the Fiend and Bray Wyatt.
The Undertaker when he didn't have.
Here's what I want to see. I'm not telling WWE I'm gonna say fuck you if you don't do it. What I would like for them to do is for Bray Wyatt. He should be a cult leader.
I don't think they're going to go in that direction again.
But he's got to like brainwash people into following him.
I wouldn't be against it. Instead of being like a well-established white family type cult leader, I wouldn't be against the idea you're proposing. It's just I feel like I look at like some of his trajectory as mirroring the Undertaker in some way, and like once the Undertaker went one way and moved past it, he just became a solo character on his own. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of hoping they give time for Bray Wyatt to not be such like let him wrestle a bit without the pomp and circumstance all the fucking time. You can have the entrance, it can be built up, but do something a bit more with him and build him up to. He doesn't need to be a world champion at all. Please do not do that with him, because if they throw the championship on him, it's going to be bad news bears.
I think Triple H will do that. He may win the championship, but they're not just going to throw the title on him.
No.
You think he might be he could. I hope he's not, but they might look at him as being the one to dethrone Roman Reigns.
I think that's going to go to either Cross or Cody Rhodes when Cody Rhodes returns.
It'd be interesting. Like, the one thing I'll say about this whole thing, I didn't get me back into really wanting to watch wrestling on a weekly basis, but it got me back or interested enough in a character's trajectory to pay attention to see where that goes, and potentially watch some of the pay-per-views they have moving forward.
Yeah.
When you say Wyatt Family 6, what do you mean?
Eric Rowan and all of that.
I don't want to see Eric Rowan back at all. He was terrible. They had Braun Strowman, but please God, do not bring
those two far away from each other.
Yes. Don't do that, please, Lord.
With Wyatt coming back, I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'd like to think that Wyatt is smart enough that he's not gonna repeat himself in terms of he's definitely not gonna be the Fiend. I think that. As much as I like the Fiend character and a lot of the fun things that he was doing with it, the way it ended and the sour note that it ended, I'm good. Between the way it just like tripled off, like just like tapered off on top of him being basically a fucking burnt marshmallow at the end of the whole thing, I'm good. I think that I want to almost. This is going to sound like repetitive and like eye roll. I kind of want the Dexter Loomis method in the sense of, for right now, less is more. You don't need to do a lot with him. The fact that he's back in and of itself, let's ride that wave for a little while, see where it goes. I don't want him near the goddamn title. I know it's not the Fiend anymore. I don't want him near the title right now. Can he challenge for the championship? Yeah, let's go down the road a little bit first and let's see where it goes.
You got to be very careful with this character moving forward. There's a lot of missteps.
My point is, I think Wyatt is smart enough to know, especially with Triple H, and knows what works and what doesn't work. I think that both men, because I'd like to think that Wyatt didn't just like run to the door as soon as Triple H got back in charge or got in charge of WWE. I'd like to think that. Mistakes happen, ego, all that craziness and whatnot. But I think at the end of the day, Wyatt would hopefully be smart enough and Triple H in tow to have like a bigger long-term plan for him, especially this time around, in my opinion. But.
You know what? I think I'd also like lean towards them handling him much better now too, because if it was him being the Fiend, he was in prime position to come back and fucking start some shit with Seth Rollins, who's in a cage in the middle of the ring. So the best part is they didn't have him interact with any other wrestler. He just came back and said, but like, it's a better return for him not to get into a feud immediately with a wrestler he's already faced, or they used it as a platform just to reveal this is like his return and potentially what his character might be. He still has a mask of sorts, look like V for Vendetta mask.
Hey, listen, I'm all in favor of that. But the other, to your point too about that, I'm actually glad they put him in the place they did at the show, because it doesn't tie him to any superstar, and it makes sense why we had Riddle and Seth be the closer. Because if you have a heel win like they did with Finn in the Judgment Day, then it doesn't really make much sense for presumably Wyatt being a heel. And you're right, it gives him the stage, because let's face it, if they just had him show up mid-show and do what he did, it'd be like, what?
The rest of the show would have been shit.
The fuck? What? Like, he just showed up and like
you have your own.
He like West Side Storied everything in terms of like just like coming down the aisle. By the way, real quick, I did want to note that I got an alert earlier and I didn't have a chance to. I was trying to pull this up. We did get a $5 donation from Aru Shin-Chu, which is much appreciated. Aru said, unfortunately, we don't have the setup here.
I had it up. He says, it doesn't like trigger for some reason.
Now I'm triggered. Instead of talking about a white rabbit, which if you haven't seen a white rabbit, then I don't know what to tell you. Now, if it was a white turd, then by all means talk about it. Which, listen, the jury's still out on Bray, so it's only been one night. So let's.
The white rabbit. If you paid any attention and put those QR codes, if you take the way that they spelled White Rabbit, it just came out as Bray Wyatt. So you knew it was going to be Bray Wyatt.
Part of me didn't want it to be.
A matter of how they were going to do it.
Part of me didn't want it to be. Just to watch people lose their mind. I'm like, great, I'm turning into JP now. I want to see people on Twitter burn.
I did. I was hoping it wasn't, but
Yeah, it got a little too obvious. But from what I've seen overall, I mean, pretty decent show. And Bray's now in the house, but
I do want to go back to the I Quit match. For everybody shitting on the finish of that, you weren't paying attention. There was a reason. There was people shitting on it.
There's also really no other way. There's no other way to really end it.
No,
in my mind,
they have to. Everybody. So here's the thing. They were shitting all over. Like everybody was beating Judgment Day. What better way to make this faction strong by beating a Hall of Famer who can still contend for a world title?
This is what Edge is there for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's really the perfect way to use him. And the whole time I was thinking, I'm like, I know what they're probably going to go with, but I don't know how they're going to get there. And then they kind of reveal that she's there, and it makes all the sense in the world.
You have two people. You have Edge and Mysterio, who are two like Hall of Famers, right? I mean, I know Ray isn't yet, but he fucking will be. And like, what are you going to do here? They're the two baby faces. Of course the heels are going to get over because they're all, when I say rookies, I mean they're newer in comparison to their counterparts. So, yeah, of course the fucking Judgment Day should win. Of course they should. It makes sense. And it makes sense because you have exactly what you want. The heels get the victory, but the baby faces get the whole, like, shoved you down, you little brat. And I loved how people apparently, like, really ragged on Michael Cole for calling Dominic a brat like really intensely, which sure, okay, get your aggressions out.
I mean,
there.
Michael Cole should have shut the fuck up at the end of the match. I hate him. He's like, "Are we still on? Are we still alive?" Like you don't eat. He didn't need to do that shit. Like if he just stopped talking and they can't.
I will give Michael Cole his props during that I Quit match. He made it feel real.
No, I'm just talking about the end of the event. I agree with you with the I Quit match.
Oh, I agree with you there. Yeah, you didn't need to say that. I was still talking about the I Quit match when Michael Cole, he did a really good job tonight, which tells me loads that there's not anybody in his ear telling him what he needs to do and say, which is huge. They're just letting these guys do their thing.
Which kind of worries me now that Booker T is going to be part of an active talking lineup. Because I don't know, man.
Why?
Booker T's fucking terrible commentator.
Oh, Shaggy Duggy, here we go.
I don't think you'll see that back. I hope
someone cut his mic off, please.
I love Booker T, but I like him more like the way he was used in like the pre-show at the table.
Yes,
he's fine there,
yeah.
But like commentary, no, it's not. It doesn't work for me.
All right, welcome to WrestleMania 40's main event. We have 3 epic matches, and they're all going to be solo commentaried by Booker T. Oh my god!
And Teddy Long, bring him in.
Somebody made a fucking feature-length film of him just telling people that they're going to fight the Undertaker.
Yeah.
So I mentioned this before, but I love telling this story. For those of you who have never heard this story, but back in, I want to say it was like the 2009 or 2010, whatever SmackDown versus Raw game it was, you could create your own story mode where you could actually like connect a keyboard to your console and actually type out like the text. And you could upload them just like in community creations, and you could have people download them, and they were so much fun. Some of them were like 1.5 years long, intricate details, so many different branches you could do. It was amazing. Mm-hmm. Some of them were utter shit. And the one that I love is, it's no story. It's just one thing of Teddy Long apparently getting attacked in a parking lot by another Teddy Long. And then it results in Teddy Long having a confrontation with Teddy Long in the ring. And he orders 2 security guards who are
Teddy Long
carrying the other Teddy Long out, as all you see underneath of the top of the text is just the word holla 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 like for 5 fucking minutes straight. Stupidest fucking thing, but I will never forget it as long as I live, because I've part of me has wanted to go get that game and see if I can find the fucking story mode and download it, because man, it was so fucking stupid but so great. But yeah, Extreme Rules sounds promising. So what, Crown Jewel's next, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is another premium live event, I'm assuming, or I don't know what the fuck they call these things anymore.
This one's just these premium live events in Saudi Arabia are nothing more than glorified house shows. Nothing major is going to happen.
Holla, 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 holla,
the stadium gets bombed. Nothing major is gonna happen.
So what do you think of the show? It bombed. It was that bad? Well, that's not what I meant.
Oh god.
Oh god. Moving on to some of the other stuff. Was there anything else we wanted to throw out there for Extreme Rules?
Nah, I'm good.
I like the reveal of Bray Wyatt. I like what they're possibly doing with it. The initial reaction is good.
Yeah.
But I'm holding my bated breath because yes, Vince is not there. However,
he's flipping the shit. By the way, you know how many memes I've seen of, I'm sorry to interrupt you, JP, but how many memes I've seen of like Vince quietly screaming because Triple H is doing all these changes?
I can't believe he brought back everybody I left go.
But it's just like it's like a silhouette of Vince like staring off in the
Linda, you fucking bitch. Sign this NDA.
The final thing I'll say is this really puts AEW on notice. If that makes sense.
I was telling Heather, I saw on Twitter, WWE got Bray Wyatt back. Meanwhile, in AEW, they get a pizza maker.
There's another fucking fight. Like, what the fuck is going on? There is no accountability in that fucking locker
Oh
room.
yeah, we could talk about that. They had another fight with what? Sammy Guevara and who was it?
Andrade.
El Idolo.
Here's the thing: they send Andrade home and have Sammy Guevara wrestle in the main event and get the pin.
Yeah, it's like a recipe for disaster. No pun intended. With fucking El Primo Luigi or whatever the fuck his name is.
I don't understand why.
So
Why?
AEW got the better of the deal.
And I don't care who threw the first fucking punch. It takes two to fucking tango, man.
One tandai mobile, qual piuma al vento.
I wish Bray Wyatt came back as a pizza maker. That'd be
Broke in a lawsuit.
My name is Dom Inose.
That's genius booking. But before we get into the other stuff, the other subjects, you guys good if I promote / plug the thing I was mentioning before we got on here? Cool.
It's not a
All
thing,
right.
it's a person.
What? Well, yeah.
You monster.
Oh my god. So obviously we are all good friends with and I'm sure a good chunk of you in the chat here too. With a good friend Drew from the Derailed News and Podcast show channel network. We love Drew. We've interacted, been on his show, and we've worked with him before. And consider him a colleague, friend.
Lover.
I don't want to spoil. Settle down. I don't want to spoil too much, but Drew will be having a pretty monumental show this coming tomorrow. It's tomorrow, right? Jesus Christ, Sunday tomorrow. So we encourage anybody who's watching us right now to please also join. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be in the chat for sure. I think I don't know. I don't want to speak on Basement or Heather and JP's status, but.
Found this picture.
I know Drew is I believe he's going to be taking a little bit of a hiatus, but I don't want to like spoil anything too much. I want to let him make the announcement and talk about it more. But I will be definitely in the chat for the show. So join us. Make sure you join us tomorrow around the same time over on Drew's channel, the Derailed Podcast News and Podcast, because it's going to be. Listen, if we're going to take a hiatus, we're going to go out with a fucking bang on fucking a. Dialysis machine.
That's how I want to go.
I want to go. So make sure you guys join us for that. And if you haven't subscribed already, what the hell are you doing? Go subscribe over to Drew.
I'll be there. I might call in, or it might just be in the chat supporting.
Hey, it's Canadian Basement. You're on the air.
Yep, I will be in the chat as well.
All right, awesome. I didn't want to speak on anyone's behalf, but like I said, Drew's been great to all of us. But we'll put the link
for Drew's show. Can somebody else do that for me?
What's the link for Drew's show? Just
We'll give it to you, baby. We'll give it to you good.
Give me a minute. Let me pull it up. I can pull it up. Show you how well prepared I am.
I tried to look for a picture, and this I found the concept art for his channel.
Wait, what?
I just found the train.
His wife did that.
Yeah, I found this. I just Google searched it, and this is what came up.
His wife did that.
Choo choo, motherfucker. Yeah, his wife is a talented artist.
I just put the link in the chat. So if you guys want to join us tomorrow and join Drew, send him some love, blow up his channel like fucking crazy. Let's go ahead and do it together. On that note, let's talk about let's talk about bros. This fucking is a shake my head moment for me personally. So, those who don't know, the movie Bros came out this past weekend, I believe, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Or weekend before, and it was touted as the first major gay rom-com produced by a major movie studio, which I believe was Universal. I saw the trailer for it. I like Billy Eichner, who's in the movie. Looked pretty decent. I wasn't shouting to the heavens about it, but apparently Billy Eichner didn't hold back while talking to Twitter on Sunday to comment on the dismal box office opening of the new comedy. Apparently, it only debuted to a 4.8 million after doing little business in much of Middle America and the South. Quote, everyone who isn't a homophobic weirdo should go see Bros tonight. You'll have a blast, and it is special and uniquely powerful to see this particular story on the big screen, especially for queer folks who don't get this opportunity often. I love this movie so much. Go Bros. Okay.
Go ahead.
It's the classic shoot yourself in the foot.
Here's what I'm gonna say this, and I will take a step back to let everybody else say this. I think the idea of the movie, and like I said, I saw the trailer. It looked pretty funny. It looked pretty okay, like by the norm of like a rom-com, like nothing too crazy or nothing too over the top. And they're genuinely funny. I like Billy Eichner. I think he's funny. But like to instantly spin this like this is just it just really it's I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Like
see
why?
when I looked at this the preview for this, what I thought immediately was like those Judd Apatow comedies of like
which
10
it is,
years
I
ago.
believe.
Like that they it could go that way or it could not, but I feel like they tried to. The thing is, the world is at this point so fucking sensitive about everything that a lot of like what I read up on this, there are a lot of the people that are like the gay community were like, it doesn't represent us because it's like heavily sexualized, and they're like, yeah, it's a rom-com, and every fucking 10 seconds they're talking about sex or in orgies or something. Like it's heavily sexualized from what I've read. I haven't seen it.
That's
So
rom-coms.
yeah, I know, but if you're gonna go out and promote it as the first gay big box office movie that is a romantic comedy, you're gonna get a lot of the like gay community that wants
Yeah. I'll make a note in the chat real quick.
Nope, you win. Good job.
Well, we're okay. We're back. It looks like.
Yeah, OBS problems, but we are back.
So, what is this movie about?
It's about two
It is
men.
a gay rom-com.
Yeah, two men in love, but it's done in the way of probably very similar to like what's that like Finding Sarah Marshall or like those type of
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
whatever the fuck the movie.
So essentially, what is the purpose? What is the synopsis or plot of the movie? I guess my question.
Two
Because if I'm going to
bros
watch
throwing
a
out.
movie about look, if I'm going to watch a movie about two gay men, there has to be a reason I'm going to watch a movie about two gay men.
I mean, they're already in my mind. They're already like it's already a niche audience anyway.
Yes.
And it will turn off a certain amount of people. So like the movie has to be fucking funny as shit, in my honest opinion, in order for me to like give it a time of day. This is the synopsis: two men with commitment problems attempt a relationship.
Okay.
Does that make you want to see it?
So hold on. Something that just really tickled me funny about the way JP's like, I need to know why I'm watching a movie about two gay men.
What's the purpose?
Two gay men want to
Docking.
be on the main screen, just banging and loving and feeling so fine.
You ever seen a lightsaber fight?
I like okay, so what I got when I watched the trailer for it, it seemed like
bombs at the box office.
Yeah, it seemed like a nerdy gay man that's like, oh, this like band that is like a football star or whatever wouldn't be into me. So it's like that's the whole premise.
Regular rom-com bombs at the box office usually, right?
Especially when like released in October. When if it's released next to a horror movie, which this one was, what the fuck do you think people are gonna watch?
Right, but my point is rom-coms, no matter what
they don't do that well. No.
They don't do that well. I mean, they're great if we're at home, like me and Heather sitting on the couch, watching a movie or whatever. It's not a movie that I'm going to take to go to I'm not going to spend $20 on a ticket, popcorn and a soda for a rom-com. Like what?
I never.
If you the only thing that theaters should be good for are for like your Avenger Endgame
I feel like
movies,
you could
your
have.
Marvel movies, your Star Wars, the big box office hits.
Well, the thing is, you could have like like those smaller theaters can play like indie films or shit like this, and I think it'd be fine. But like expecting some huge revenue burst, I almost swear to you right now, they expected it purely because like everybody loves
It's
gay people
gay
now.
army.
It's gay,
Yeah.
gay fest. So it's
Yeah.
like no. And then when you turn around and do this fucking shit, I will never watch this movie purely based on this.
Well, what I was about to say was I like Billy Eichner. I think he's relatively.
I don't even know
funny.
who
I'm
the
not
fuck
saying
he
he's-
is. To be
Billy on the Streets. You ever seen him on like when he's like walking up to people? Anyway,
no,
but anyway,
I have never seen it.
I find him genuinely funny, and I thought the concept of the movie was all right, cool, whatever. Like, yeah, of course they're gonna, can't be surprised that this is a thing. Fine, all right, I might give it a shot. But the fact that like he instantly goes out and starts bashing, like saying
Days
not,
later.
Thank straight people for this movie bombing. Like, motherfucker. I am a woman, a straight woman, yes, but regular romance comedies I don't even watch because they bore the fuck out of me.
Why are you yelling?
Rom-coms are good for like young youth. Like people within
20,
their teens and like
yeah.
20 years old, or if you're like out with the girl and you want to go see a movie or something like that. This or like two gay men could go out and watch this, but apparently even they didn't like this fucking movie. So I don't know who it's made for. And like attacking your fan base worked so well for fucking Brie the Cheese Larson. Like like you create hatred where people will not watch it out of principle, and when it's this, you're like, and then like the funny part is that I find with this one. Usually, in this case, you'd see like major media supporting this and being like,
Yeah.
"Yes, the world is filled with homophobes. That's why they're not watching it." This doesn't seem that way.
nope.
How much you want
I
to
was gonna
bet
get
it's
to
up for an Oscar though?
Oh God, I bet it
It
won't
doesn't
be.
meet the requirements for it.
No.
No, it doesn't seem like mainstream media is like supporting it, or what this guy has done with it. So, but it's
Oscar
not the
nominees for
only-
best subtitles.
This is not even the only problem that stemmed from this movie. There is a person that stars in this movie alongside these guys. I don't know how big of like a part he has.
Oh, you're talking about Guy Brown?
Yeah, Guy Brownson or whatever the fuck his
Yep.
name is. He did the same fucking shit against someone else.
So apparently, yeah, I was actually just looking into this. He's upset over. Okay. Apparently he's upset over Brendan Fraser being casted.
So, if you've heard of the movie The Whale, which is like an indie movie that
I know of
Brendan
one.
Fraser, Brendan Fraser got the role instead of her. But he plays like a 600-pound. I think he's. I don't even know if he's gay in the movie. I'm assuming he is.
Yeah.
That's trying to reconnect with his daughter. This guy, after the bros fiasco of fucking his co-star or whatever coming out and saying that shit, this guy comes out and like goes on attack mode against Brendan Fraser for getting a role that he was built for because he's big old gay man. Like nobody even knows who the fuck he is. First of all, he's also attacking he's punching down if he's attacking Brendan Fraser.
Do people have anything fucking better to do sometimes? I swear to God.
No, they don't. That's
Like,
the problem.
I can't. But like, this movie is like just spawned vile shit. Like,
No kidding.
Like,
Jesus Christ.
Connor, you are freezing up on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Hold on 1 second. Oh, my whole computer's now. Fuck me now. I'm just gonna make fucking funny faces until something. Ah, there we go. God
So
damn. Yeah,
we're all gonna go out and watch Bros together.
I'm tempted to rent the movie and
I
have us
would
watch it
rather-
together just to
I'd
torture.
rather- I'd rather shoot
you
myself.
or money.
I'd rather kill myself live on air.
Shit all over it.
I don't know. I feel like I hate watch so many things. I don't really have space left for Bros.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Connor is just forever disappointed. Look at him. Hands and face looking down. But
Listen,
yeah,
you already gave Marvel shit. Oh, okay, I'm just like I have a face now.
but yeah, attacking like a movie that's yet to actually been theatrically released because a character has to wear a fat suit to play somebody. Where this guy would still have to wear a fat suit. He's not 600 pounds. Fucking, he looks like Kingpin if Kingpin was like the gayest man in the universe. King Peg is what I call him.
I didn't know, like, we're talking about bros. Like, I mean,
this is the same. Yeah, well, it's just it was pretty controversial in the last week for like the first gay rom-com to be like not taken as like brave and powerful, and instead being taken as shit made by people filled with hate.
I'm not going to say anything because, like I said, I don't watch regular rom-coms.
No, me neither.
So why in the fuck do I care to fucking watch a fucking gay rom-com?
Yeah.
Which is why I asked the question, what is the reason that I need to watch two gay men in a movie?
It was inevitably going to do not very well anyway because of the nature of the movie being a rom-com, no matter if it's gay or straight or anything.
It can be funny for all I care.
I mean, why wouldn't this be released like closer to Valentine's Day or something? There's nothing really drawing people to watching it in October, in my mind. But it is what it is. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's just there's a lot of bad press around it at the moment, but fuck it. I don't really care. I'm not gonna watch it. And I just thought it would be a somewhat interesting talking point. Connor has completely disappeared, so I guess I'll move us forward and talk.
Yeah.
I guess Heather's back. Let's see what we got here. So another movie tie-in. Here we go. The Super Mario Brothers movie came out with a trailer. Now, a lot of people. Just turn this off. Most people think it looks pretty good. Apparently, there was some worry with the animation studio not being able to do a good job with it. But I think it looks pretty good. Visually.
It looks amazing. It's the sound that has me worried.
And I think most of the voice acting is fine. The reason I pointed out to you Chris Pratt as Mario is because he had come out earlier and said, I'm doing a voice for Mario that you never would have expected, or it's going to be something you've never heard before. And he just sounds exactly like himself.
Exactly.
Shut up. We have a daughter that won't stop talking. Sorry.
She's asking me 5 million questions while I'm trying to do this as well. I mean, really? I told you if you wanted to be in here, you had to be quiet. Otherwise, you can go back and watch your video and lay down. Those are your options. But yes, Mario coming out as Chris Pratt. No.
What?
No, for me, it has to be It's me, Mario voice.
I mean, I don't want to hear that for fucking 2 hours or whatever it is, the movie's length. I wouldn't want to hear that. But you still have to have some of that inflection in your voice. All I think of, because Chris Pratt is a well-known name. He's been fucking Guardians. He's in Jurassic World. He's in a bunch of big-ticket movies. I don't think of Mario when I hear Chris Pratt. All I think of Chris Pratt. He's like an iconic character. You have to put a bit of a twist on it. And I mean, he hardly he sounds a little bit different, but it's so subtle that it means nothing. So I think out of all the ones that I heard in the preview trailer, which I think the trailer looks pretty good, all of the ones he sounds just stand out bad.
He does. Jack Black does an amazing job as Bowser, which I knew he would do.
Yeah, he does a good job. I know that Luigi says like not even a sentence, like a sound bite, and then people were like, "That doesn't sound like him." I'm like, "What the fuck? It sounded fine to me." He's the one that says like or some shit like. And that seems fine to me. I worry about fucking Donkey Kong because all you're gonna hear is Seth Rogen.
Yeah, exactly.
Crap. Oh,
There's
he
Connor.
returns.
I don't know. I probably won't watch it anyway, but
Also, I'll probably end up seeing it in some way at some point. I won't. I'll definitely not go to the theater to watch it. So we're talking about the Super Mario Brothers movie and the trailer. Just to recap, I thought the trailer was fine and looked pretty good, except I'm not a fan of Chris Pratt.
you are a fan of Chris Pratt. You're just not a fan of Chris Pratt being Mario.
Yes.
I'm not a fan of the job he did as Mario from what I've seen so far.
Let's go.
Okay, so you only seen a little bit. He didn't really talk that much in it.
He said one sentence, but it was just Chris Pratt.
One more sentence than needed to be.
Now it all depends. Maybe the movie is going to be like, I've been inserted from the regular world, and over time in the movie he becomes the Mario that we know.
Or
it's shit.
Not.
I'm trying to give it a benefit of the doubt, okay? He seems confused to where the fuck he is, so I don't know.
I would be too if I could talk about mushrooms.
You're talking about Aru it was terrible.
I liked it.
I mean, I put up the two Bowsers. Which one would you rather have?
I would rather have Jack Black, yes, but...
Oh, where did this go? Why is everything so fucked with this stupid fucking OBS? There we go.
OBS did mention they were doing some sort of update, like right around now-ish, so that's...
Turning things on and off by themselves?
I mean, it invaded my computer and just said, fuck you, and just like... I don't even have OBS up.
Who's the guy that they got to play Luigi?
The guy from Always Sunny. He's fine. I think he's a good pick.
Who?
You probably won't know him if I told you his name. No, what the fuck's his name? Charlie something. Charlie Day. Charlie Day.
Yeah.
Charlie Day.
Fucking imagine that. It's like
I know that guy.
Luigi, you ready? I'm the trash man.
He was the dental assistant in Horrible Bosses.
Horrible Rosses. That's right. Yeah.
Horrible Rosses.
I think the Mario movie looks pretty decent, but then again, it's a clip of it's a tidbit of the trailer of the movie, and
we're talking about a character that was a video game. So why are we worried about how he sounds? I don't care.
I mean, that is like pretty important. So you have Superman, and he sounds like a fucking vagina dweller.
Well, the other part of it too is that you have a character, a very iconic video game character that has not been portrayed in a major movie. I'm not counting that first one. Fuck off, everybody.
Imagine Superman sounding like Chris Rock.
But my point is that as soon as everyone said Chris Pratt was going to be Mario, everyone's like, well, actually, there was like a mixed reaction at first, and then when they said, "Oh, he's not going to have like the Italian, like Charles Martinet, the voice actor for Mario, like every Mario ever known, it's not going to be the same voice like that." Everyone's like, "What the fuck? What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing to my Mario?"
See, yeah, that's the problem with people. It's not Mario, man. Who cares?
Apparently, the internet.
Take it for what it is. Be thankful you're getting the fucking movie. I mean, shit. That's just me personally. I get what you're saying, but it's like it's a video game character.
Well, let's see where it goes. I don't think it looks bad at all. I think Jack Black as Bowser, great choice personally.
Yeah,
I think that the other, I mean, so far so good as far as the other ones. Visually it looks pretty solid. It looks like it's pretty fucking accurate. But we'll have to see how it plays. We'll have to see how like the actual movie. I'm gonna go see it. I don't give a shit. I'll probably be taking the kids to go see it. But
well, yeah. I mean, it's a kid. Okay, so here's the thing. It's a kids movie. This is a movie. This is a movie for kids. I get what, but yes, and for it, the adults are going to want to see it because it's Mario Brothers. They grew up on Mario Brothers. I get that, but this is a movie for kids.
And Alpha, no, the new movie they are making for Mario Brothers is not live action.
No, it's
CGI animation.
It's CGI animation. So Disney did this with Rebels.
It's Universal, so it's Illumination, the same company who did Minions.
Right. So, yeah. So it's that kind of cartoon. If you've seen Big Hero 6, same thing, same concept.
Yes.
The thing
So
is,
it's
I
not
don't
live
really.
action. But if they did a live action, I wouldn't be against it. They're just not like the first one.
I know.
That was
They should never do live action Mario, but I don't buy the it's just for kids because
I
it
do.
has to
Well-
have enough in it to also appeal to slightly older audiences.
it's-
Have you
it's
ever
gonna be-
seen like any Pixar movie that they've done mostly has enough in it so that an older audience can watch it while it
gonna
can
be like
be
Minions.
very enjoyed? Yeah. Well, no, God, no. That should not be.
No. I mean, because I don't know if you've seen any of the newer Minion movies, but the newer ones do that. They slide in a couple of jokes in there that like not offensive or anything derogatory, but like it would go over the kids' head, but the adults would be like,
You need to have that.
Of course.
But
if you've seen the movie Sing, it's a kid's movie, but they slid some fucking shit in there that.
Same idea.
But I would say, like, I mean, to the point of who cares what the character sounds like? I mean, the whole point of what they're doing is to imitate something that already exists. Not.
I've never heard Mario speak.
He's got tons of sound bites.
I've never heard him.
You've never played Mario, then?
I'm gonna be straight up honest with you.
Yeah.
I never played Mario Brothers. I've seen my brother.
This is why
play
you
it.
don't care at all.
No, I don't.
That's fine. But that's also like, I mean, when it comes down to like doing an adaptation, you should have some sort of attempt to adapt.
Yes.
I'm just picturing now going this so opposite. Like, and now the new Mario Brothers movie starring Mario. What's up, motherfucker? I'm gonna pop your fucking ass.
JP's like, this is what I always pictured.
This is exactly. He sounded like that in the game.
Who show, motherfucker?
Realize that Mario actually was not. He was the character in Donkey Kong.
Yes, you
Right.
are correct.
Yep. And then he got so popular.
But my point is
That's one of 8,000 fucking iterations of Mario.
Yeah, that's true too. They made so many fucking movies, different games. He's been a doctor,
Let's
proctologist.
go. I mean, I don't want to hear him sound like he's his actual character because it's sound bites. It's meant to be over exaggerated. They should use some of those sound bites, but he also needs to be able to talk without sounding like I want to kill him.
The point I was going to make earlier too was like I do not want live action of Mario because he's one of those characters that it wouldn't translate well into a live act. And I'm not even making fun of the shitty early 90s movie they did. In general, it would be the same like I'm going to do a live action Kirby. I'm like, great, can't wait to not sleep for a week after seeing that fucking monstrosity that I'm sure that's going to be.
At best, they'd have to meld two worlds like Sonic did, but even then, I wouldn't like it.
I think Sonic did it probably. If you're going to do a live action Sonic, I think that those movies actually were probably some of the better ones in recent memory. But yeah, I agree with you. That's neither here nor there. But no, I mean, I think it looks solid-ish. And someone did make a joke that said like, watch, this is Universal's stepping stone to start making a instead of an MCU, it's a Super Smash Brothers universe where they do the exact same thing like Marvel's been doing with all the Nintendo characters.
There's not enough depth there to even attempt.
There's not enough depth.
Most of those characters are fucking super one-dimensional.
Uh-huh.
Marvel has a little bit more depth than Kirby. He's a fucking blob that sucks people off.
Uh-huh.
So who's that in the Marvel universe? Because I want to watch that one.
Captain Marvel. I'm just saying. Someone threw that out there, and I'm like, why the fuck did you have to throw that at me? Because now it's gonna fucking happen.
You know what, Boto? I would love to see that adaptation, but it's like super serious. Dr. Mario.
Let's go.
To
yeah.
Beep.
I like I said, I won't watch it. Heather will probably watch it.
I mean, I don't care too much about it, to be honest, but
I'll probably take the kiddos. It looks interesting enough to me, but we'll see how things go. But speaking of ruining childhoods and whatnot, this is a great transition. they're making a horror version of the Grinch.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard about this too just now.
So much like the Winnie the Pooh, the Grinch is getting its own horror movie this year with XYZ Films, big budget, announcing today they picked up the mean one for a December 2022 release.
Now this I can get behind because
it makes more sense for the Grinch to be a murderer.
It does.
All right.
Still gonna be fucking ass.
Apparently, this will be released for free everywhere in the U.S. on December 15th, fucking A, gifting the film to all horror fans this holiday season. In the audacious new parody, the mean one is a hairy green-skinned grump in a Santa suit living on a mountain high above the town of Newville, despising the holiday season. Young Cindy, you-know-who, that's fucking hilarious, whose parents were butchered by the mean one 20 Christmases early. All right, the more I'm reading this, the more I'm actually fucking loving this. Is returning to town to see closure, but is about to discover that this fiend with a heart 2 sizes too small is still quite eager to carve the roast beef. Okay, that fucking sold me. That like paragraph right there just fucking sold me.
It's gonna be made for $17, so it's gonna be great. Let's go.
I see that this movie is gonna have a big boobed fucking
Cindy Lou Who.
Cindy Lou.
No. It's Cindy You Know Who fucking copyright. God damn it. I'm sold. I'm fucking sold. I read that paragraph and I am fucking
We will
sold.
watch it. We will party watch this.
I will
and do a review on it.
Chances are it's going to be absolute ass, but you know what? I don't want it shouldn't be good. It shouldn't be good.
What was the one that we were watching about the fucking killer turkeys or whatever the fuck it was?
Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
That with the birds that were photoshopped terribly?
Yes.
What was that called?
Terror birds.
It wasn't called terror birds, was it?
No, there was one where they was like almost like they were like velociraptors.
That was terror birds.
Oh,
I think.
yeah.
Oh, it was terror birds. Okay.
Oh, the
That was
velociraptor
gold.
one where they some guy walked into a forest and just ended up in the facility.
Yes.
That was making velociraptors.
Yeah.
that
fucking needs more awards. If it's anything like that, then I'm fucking sold.
I think it'll be a bit better than that in terms of quality.
Especially if they do like, especially if they, imagine there's like murders that have to do with like Dr. Seuss books, like someone gets murdered with green eggs and ham.
Oh, that'd be fucking perfect.
I mean, come on, man.
It's drowned with 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. Yep.
And those yellow fish.
It writes itself, people.
Pop dies by too many children hopping on Pop.
I don't know, do they have the rights to like the
that fucking tops it all. That's the best one.
So the fludels or the kerflugels or whatever they fucking have, he's gonna use those as some of the fucking weapons and shit. I mean, come on, man.
Or whatever the fuck they are.
I hope he just comes down on that giant sled and just fucking kills every single person.
People the fuck over.
That would be fucking great.
But I don't think they have I think it's gonna be a lot of what this image looks like. Him just killing people.
It's not actually the Grinch. He's the Grump.
Yeah, it's
the mean one, whatever the fuck. Yeah, it's the.
Hey, who cares?
Generic vague copyright.
He better sound exactly like the Grinch, or I'm gonna be upset.
I mean, I don't give a shit. I'll tell you, this sounds like it's gonna be a lot of fun. But yeah, we'll probably be power washing this right after the Mario movie, or no, right before the Mario movie comes out. Right? We're all gonna.
Yeah.
No,
I'm down.
Awesome.
I'll watch it.
Speaking of, since we're on this pathway of just destroying childhoods, I shouldn't say this is a destroying childhoods. Velma's gay
and black.
Oh my god!
Not
only is Velma gay,
she's
also an Indian now.
She's also Middle Eastern now.
No,
so if you take a look at this stream, this is like the full casting that they've done.
What's new Scooby Doo?
Yes,
Scooby Doo.
If you look, every character has been made to resemble their voice actor,
except for Fred.
Fred is on point.
Fred's white.
Fred's white.
Daphne is now Asian, and Shaggy, the stoner of the group, is now black.
Look,
I've also read Scooby Doo will not be in this. They had no understanding of how to adapt having a dog that speaks in a cartoon.
The fucking cartoon. That's how you adapt it.
So there's no Scooby Doo. Shaggy is black.
Then why make?
The one thing that I find hilarious, you know how many people remember when The Simpsons, like, we can't have you playing a Pooh, you're a white man. An Asian woman plays a redheaded white woman.
No, they made her Asian too.
She's Daphne does not look Asian in that picture at all.
All right, so let me back up. So
next to her, no, that's the original formation of Daphne. The Daphne with the new character.
Look, it's there. The new character is there.
Yeah,
I know.
She doesn't look Asian to me at
that
all.
looks Asian to me.
What the fuck? She's got red hair.
So just to recap, there's actually two things that happen. Velma in one of the shows is apparently is gay, and then there's this new one which is just Velma, like the show Velma, where it's just about where all these like changes that you see on the screen here with her being Indian, right? You said Indian.
Right. Yeah, to mimic Mindy Kaling.
Right, and then we have Norville, who's replacing Shaggy. It's like
Mindy Kaling, if you've ever heard her talk, does not sound like, if you never seen her and she was doing a speaking voice, she doesn't sound Indian at all.
It goes back to the fucking bros thing of like I'm all for representation, but like when it's being spoon fed to the point where it's like
it's the self insert that I fucking hate.
Yeah, it's you're putting the cause before anything else. It's like, oh, this will do great because Velma's an Indian gay woman.
But it's I can't play anything that's not me. Which what the fuck is acting then, you dumb cunt?
Exactly.
I mean, first of all, I don't give a flying shit about this anyway. Like, it really doesn't matter to me. It's called Velma. It's not called Scooby Doo, so they can get away with not having Scooby. The problem is like. It's also, I think, going to be a bit more like geared towards older audiences, from what I've understood, not kids. So I guess doing away with the talking dog makes sense.
Yeah, they made it very clear that Velma, this series, was going to be driven for adults.
And I don't mind that.
I don't mind it either. It's just like why even copy these characters? Just do this. Name them whatever the fuck you want. It's already far removed from Scooby Doo, not including him, and being made for more adults than kids. Like, we'll just call her fucking Mindy Kaling. Like, if she's gonna play Mindy Kaling, just call her Mindy Kaling.
I agree.
I mean, there's a good potential for comedy here. The guy that plays Fred, he's funny. Mindy Kaling can be funny. She can also be very annoying. I've seen the guy that plays Norville. He's not bad. I've never seen the Asian woman before, but there's opportunity for comedy. It's going to piss more people off than it's going to endear.
Alpha says in the chat, I would all be for representation if it's in something original, not something as established as Scooby Doo. I don't even mind that, to be honest with you, Alpha.
That's probably one of the most things that piss me off, that they're using an existing IP for no reason.
That's my point. I'd be more in favor of them saying, "Hey, we're doing this Scooby Doo show. Here's the cast, and here's the new versions of these," without pushing down our throats like the whatever it is, and let the facts about them being like a lesbian woman or whatever the I hate saying different, whatever the social.
You know what? There's something to that, because I saw a tweet not that long ago about this show while I was looking up the fucking images and stuff. That as of like 4 hours after they released that she was a lesbian, there's a Twitter handle for the show where she comes out and says that she's in love with Fred. So she's no longer a lesbian. Therefore, a lot of the people that they told she was a lesbian to are upset because now she's apparently bisexual. Like, this is why when you put these fucking things before the show or whatever the content is,
that is my problem. That is my problem. So Alpha, it's not even the idea that they're changing represented character or established characters. I understand that. I understand the idea of reboots and like redoing like different things and different visuals. I'm fine with that. The problem I have with that is when it's your basis of making the show successful before a fucking pilot has even been launched. So you're gonna say, "Oh, this show's gonna be great." Why? Well, because Velma's a Indian gay woman. That's the reason why the show is gonna be so successful. Yeah. How about you focus on, I don't know, character development, intriguing stories and actually like making an arc for each individual person that makes you, I don't know, fucking invest. See,
This is why I said what I said. I was like, the reason they're
I
doing
like Star
this,
Trek so much.
the complete reason they're doing is the controversial take will get more people's eyes on this product than if it was a new IP that they had to market themselves. It's
fucking ass backwards.
But it's a disgusting way to market something.
I know.
And like it's not just this.
It's entirely fucking clickbait.
Yeah, it's a gross way to market things.
I'm a super nerd, clearly, and I'm a fan of the old school Star Trek, both the original one with James T. Kirk, but Next Generation is my favorite, right? Mm-hmm. I love that show because I felt like that was a most beautiful balance of social political stuff that was going on at the time without it being shoved too far down your throat, or at the very least they help you like they set the premise up well enough in the context of the episode. That's why that show has been so successful, in my opinion.
It's not like it's not like the New Age one that's like super downer all the fucking time.
Yes, no, but I'm saying is the reasons. I know nostalgia is everything's with rose-colored glasses, but in my opinion, the reason the old Star Trek stuff works so well is because it did a very good job, in my opinion, of still having those stories and discussions about like social political stuff that was going on in the current world, obviously with a twist of it being in space in the future, but it did it without being shoved too down your throat, but did make you like kind of, it opened your mind a little bit about certain subjects and certain topics without it being like shoved the fuck down there, as opposed to like
there was
this shit.
With those shows, there was simple inclusion that went against social norms, especially with the first Star Trek, because of Nicole.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like it never played narrative number one to the entirety of the show.
No, and that's that's the point, is that like this like show. I don't want to speak for everybody here, but I don't think we inherently have a problem with them doing this necessarily to Scooby Doo or these characters, but we can see through the bullshit of why they're actually doing this.
Yeah,
and it's not just the sake of like we're doing this to make sure everyone gets represented. No, you're doing it because you're trying to get you're like Heather said, it's clickbait. It's fucking catchy to get an audience, which is horseshit.
So don't hide it under like superiority pretense.
One of my favorite recent shows that I watched because of the kids is Steven Universe. I actually really like that show, and that show kind of talks a lot about there's a lot of things about like emotions and relationships that's really fucking complex and complicated stuff sometimes
for like a 12-minute show. They can
yes. It blows my mind sometimes how good the show is, and I don't give a shit. I will tout Steven Universe as one of the greatest like modern kids shows recently made. It's so fucking good, and it's like it shouldn't be that good. So why is it that like this can exist, and then we get like bullshit like it's the fucking same company too. It just
do you want to know what they're gonna say? Oh, this is an alternate universe.
They're not even going to say that. They probably won't even fucking... like, from what I've seen of the trailers of this shit, it's going to be each character talking to the camera all the fucking time. Super self-referential.
It's essentially going to be Blair Witch version of Scooby.
Like, did you see the trailer where she's like, oh, they're doing a scream. They're doing a scream and I'm in the scream. You know it's like Rick and Morty, but dialed up, which it should never happen.
I will forgive this entire show if the end of the show, and I'm talking the series fucking ending, is they adopt Scooby Doo, he's rabid, and he fucking kills them all. That's the only way I will accept this show.
I won't accept it at all.
I won't. I personally don't. The thing is, if it was something different that it isn't like using the shoulders of something existing before it that was never meant to be used this way, I would probably be like, okay, yeah, no problem.
From the look of these pictures that I'm looking at for these characters,
it's all made by people with like
they're gonna make Fred look like a complete dumbass throughout this whole fucking
Oh yeah, he'll be dumb as shit. Watch, Scooby will be smarter than he should, or not Scooby, he won't be in it. Shaggy will be a different take, because if they make him 100% stoner black guy, then it's probably not going to go over well.
No, it's not going to. And that's what people are going to be expecting out of this, because everybody who's ever watched Scooby Doo growing up has known Scooby and Shaggy to be the stoners of the fucking group.
Shaggy especially because he eats dog treats.
Yeah, they were always
Always hungry.
in the wrong place at the wrong time, or wrong place at the right time to kind of like bring the team towards the fucking reveal.
It also takes away from like the heart of what the show was, like the Scooby Doo mysteries.
Which is why it shouldn't be named anything to do with Scooby Doo.
It's just it's.
What I did not like with this, looking at the trailer, they made Velma an attention whore. And that's not what she was. She was the nerd of the group. Daphne was the fucking attention whore.
Every character is going to be insufferable.
Yes.
I can almost see it already.
Join us next week when we start watching and reviewing it.
No, fuck you.
I don't even know when it comes out. I'll watch it and kill myself.
Listen, I have no I have no pull after making everybody watch all these Marvel things. So I think Heather's still mad at me for making her watch Captain Marvel. So
the first one to make me watch it, he did.
Okay, fair enough.
Do what?
Captain Marvel. I had to watch that movie twice. Once because of you, and once because of that fucker right there in the Marvel hat.
The only thing that I liked from Captain Marvel was the soundtrack.
Yeah, the music was the best thing about that whole
which they didn't actually make, they just took.
Exactly.
Right. No, what are you bitching about? You never fucking watched it, Basement.
I tried.
Nostalgic music to me.
I tried.
Wait till we get to the sequel. All right, let's see. We got a couple more things left here. We're actually making pretty good pace now that my computer is actually fucking working. California got themselves a potential serial killer after 5 moidors. I wish Gino's here. This would be all over
this. This is Gina's topic. I know nothing about this personally.
Great, perfect. So apparently there were 5 recent murders in Stockton, California over the last 3 months are believed to be connected. Authorities said Friday while announcing an $85,000 reward for information that leads to an arrest. All 5 male victims between the ages of 21 and 54 were fatally shot while walking home in the evening or early morning hours. 4 of the 5 victims were Hispanic, though the police chief did say that there was no indication that it's a hate crime. The shootings, which appear to involve an element of surprise, started on July 8th with the death of a 35-year-old man. The most recent killing was this past Tuesday and took the life of the oldest victim, 54. I don't know about you guys, but just kind of reading this through, this somewhat reminds me. Do you guys remember the fucking random sniping shootings in D.C.?
Yeah.
Kind of get a little bit of vibes from that, where it's just like nobody knows, fucking random. It could be anywhere, and no fucking idea.
I have 2 things on this list. She put it in the Discord as, "Oh, great! Now we have to deal with serial killers." It's only 1,
right?
And 2, it's in California, and if I think correctly, it's close to Nancy Pelosi's district. So yeah. There's potential for anybody in that area to turn into a fucking serial killer just because of the amount of fucking homeless people that live around there.
The only thing that I have to add to this story
is what kind of cereal?
Zodiac.
I want to know what kind of cereal.
Right?
Cocoa
are we talking Fruit Loops or Honey Nut Cheerios?
I'm thinking Rice Krispies.
You're a fucking
just let
Satanist,
the fire take them all.
Oh god, yeah. In California.
How many serial killers has California had?
The thing is, like, is it a serial killer or just like almost like what's a different mass murderer? It doesn't seem like
I was about to say
personal.
All these killings in one time.
But a serial killer has to be like personal in some way, right?
Okay, every serial killer is a mass murderer.
But not every mass murderer is a serial killer.
No.
Okay,
it's
so
just a serial killer is like a continuous series of killing.
Yeah.
Hence the name.
Over a length of time.
But they have a pattern. Serial killers have a pattern of how they do things.
A serial killer is typically, I'm reading the definition, is typically a person who murders 3 or more people, usually in service of abnormal psychological gratification, with the murders taking place over more than a month and including a significant period of time between them. While most authorities set a threshold of 3 murders, other extended to 4 or lessen it to 2. No, this does because it's been over a couple months.
It started in June.
Yeah.
Oh,
So this would fall into it. So we were trying to between the definition between serial killer and what mass murderer.
A mass killer.
mass
Mass
murderer
killers
is killing on
everybody
mass,
surrounding them
A mass
in that
killer-
day get
a-
caught or kill themselves.
A mass killer would be the guy that did the shooting in the Texas Tower.
Yeah.
Mass murder is the act of murdering a number of people, typically simultaneously or over a relatively short period of time and in close geographic proximity. The FBI defines
McVeigh is a mass killer.
It's kind of short
Yeah.
geographic proximity. Right?
Well, yeah, but short period of
Basement.
time. This has been a couple of months.
Basement. He's a serial killer.
We don't know anything yet.
Um,
He hasn't been caught. Could be a series of people. Could be a
Here's
gang.
the other thing.
DJ Curtis,
Mass
Raisin
killers
Brands, where
usually
it's at.
either end up getting caught before they can flee the scene, or they end up killing themselves.
What a boring fucking serial killer walking around gunning people down. At least be
You know what?
creative.
I'll meet you in
That's
California.
what,
We'll
that's
talk
what
about it.
Berkowitz
Yeah.
did. That's what Berkowitz did.
That's why I don't know who that is.
Son of Sam.
No.
Who's Sam?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
What does he do? So let me just see here because I have no other way to segue out of that conversation. Mayor declares state of emergency over New York City over migrants. Interesting.
Yeah. Do we all remember talking about New York City mayor sitting there saying, "Yeah, we can take about 50,000 of your immigrants, send them up
Yep.
this way." Now all of a sudden, state of emergency because there's no fucking room in New York City? Shocking.
Yeah, I know. Mind blowing. New York City's mayor declared a state of emergency on Friday over the thousands of migrants being sent from southern borders states since the spring, saying the demand being put on the city to provide housing and other assistance is not sustainable. Don't fucking open your mouth. Quote, a city recovering from an ongoing global pandemic is being overwhelmed by a humanitarian crisis made
That
by
city.
human hands.
It was the only city. Every city fucking
What?
recovering from an ongoing pandemic.
We are at the edge of a precipice. We need help, and we need it now. As he leaves, by the end of the fiscal year, Adams said the city expected to spend $1 billion helping the new arrivals, many of whom are heavily reliant on government aid because federal law prohibits them from working in the U.S. The administration did not specify what costs are being included in that amount. Adams, a Democrat, said the new arrivals are welcome in the city. He spoke with pride of New York City's history as a landing spot for new migrants. Quote, New York has always looked out for our immigrant brothers and sisters. We see ourselves in them. We see our ancestors in them.
When it was being
But
a
he
city
said-
built up, but now it's fully built.
Yeah.
No, there's no vacancy.
There's no room fucking left for New York to expand.
Well, sure there is.
But he said, though our compassion is limitless, our resources are not.
What a,
As he goes to Bermuda for a week.
what a fucking piece of crap.
New York City's already strained sheltered system has been under even greater pressure for much of this year because of the unexpected increase in those needing help. Between 5 and 6 buses of migrants are arriving per day, Adams said, with 9 on Thursday alone. Many of the buses have been chartered and paid for by Republican officials in Texas and Arizona who have sought to put pressure on the Biden administration to change border policy by sending migrants to Democratic-leaning cities and states in the north. 1 out of 5 beds in New York City's homeless shelters is now occupied by a migrant, and the sudden influx has swelled its population to record levels. The city has opened 42 new temporary shelters, mostly in hotels, but Adams said more would need to be done.
I love the fact that they say Republicans are sending them to Democratic cities. If they don't go there, where are they going? To the Republican areas? It's like,
Right.
There's one of 2 options, motherfucker. It's like
a
it's
joke-
okay
it's
if
a
it
joke
doesn't
of
come.
build more prisons.
Yeah.
Not
Is
here.
it- okay, so the reason that they're doing this is the Republicans are trying to prove a point.
Yeah, but like the alternative is to.
Remember my whole argument of not in my backyard?
It's I'm with you 100%. But the fact they make a point of this article to say it's the Republicans sending them to us. They're the bad guys.
they're
It's like,
bitching
so they
about
should
it.
just
So
take
they're-
them.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying.
So the Republicans should just take them.
The liberals will say, and I look, I'm
They,
not.
they always try to make a
not
bad
all
guy with a
liberals are
terrible
bad.
argument.
I'm labeling, but all. Like the far left liberals, they sit here and bitch and piss and moan. Well, the Republicans did this to us.
You were the ones who opened the
Well, you're the
fucking
ones-
borders
you're
in the
ones
first
that-
place.
My question is, what's the
All these
alternative?
big, like New York City, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Chicago, Los Angeles, Phoenix. They're sanctuary cities.
But like,
Name me one fucking Republican city that wants to be a sanctuary city.
the
I can't do it.
Atlantis.
It's the
Atlanta
He
is.
said Atlantis.
I look at
that's where
this
they all
and it's
fucking go.
like I want my cake and I want to eat it too. It's like we want all the good press of being like come in. But as long as you stay in Republican run states, if you start coming into like Democratic, then we have a problem and we're going to blame it on the Republicans. So then the answer is to keep them in Republican run states and cities or don't let them in at all. But they won't go out and say either of those things.
But then here's the thing: the Democrats will then complain that they don't want you living in their cities.
Like I look at it this way: you have New York, a city super populated, people living all over the streets. You're not gonna accept people coming in. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. But you're also not gonna accept people coming in. Well, they'll accept it and then they'll bitch about it and have nothing to do with it. But you're also not gonna accept people coming in a place that does have space if it's just like carte blanche, just fucking everybody enter, do whatever the fuck you want. We're not gonna like we're dropping a lot of the screening and shit. Like we need to prove the point that we want to do the exact opposite of the person that was in office before us. And in order to do that, like all you're doing is making fucking problems constantly. And like there's got to be a realistic solution that doesn't involve government just being like whatever. This is why I kind of like, though it's bad for the people involved, I was kind of like, yeah, send it to fucking Martha's Vineyard. You know what? Don't stop at just one truckload or whatever. Every fucking one, every fucking week. Make it a constant issue. Because it's a constant issue everywhere else. It's the only way to really get that point across. And unfortunately, people are like, well, it's bad. They lied to the migrants. I'm like, well, you're lying to fucking people daily anyway.
Okay, so Ron DeSantis is the one that did that. He sent the 50 people to Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
But what they did not fucking tell you is Joe Biden moved a fucking plane load of fucking immigrants to fucking Texas.
It's enough. Come on.
It just seems so foolish to me. Like,
yes, it's a.
Basement, you got room in Canada?
we got tons of room in Canada, to be honest. But nobody wants to live in the places like that because there's no job opportunities. There's no anything.
Yes.
Listen,
It's
getting to be the same in New York. It is getting to be the same in New York because you know what? There's only so many places somebody can work. And with so many migrants, guess what they're going to be doing? They're going to be doing those minimum wage or off-the-book jobs that are illegal to be doing in the first place.
If I'm running away from a place that's so bad that I have to go somewhere else, I'll take living in bumfuck Saskatchewan. To be honest with you. But that's not what happens. You end up with like 4 or 5 families living in a house made for 3 people in the middle of Toronto.
You need to stop.
If you want to send any sympathy cards to Basement, send them to courtesy of Bumfuck Saskatchewan.
Which is most of Saskatchewan.
You need to be more specific.
Bringing you out to the living room.
Can't really argue with anything you guys said on that one, so I got not much else to add and to contribute on that one. But yeah, everybody move. Let's all go to Japan. So the last thing I think I have on here is a porn star offering Tom Brady a little what?
Comfort.
What?
In this time of need. Yes, there was a porn star who put her efforts out there towards Tom Brady. He's got the rest.
So Tom Brady's marital woes have been topping the headlines in recent days, and now a porn star wants to help out the quarterback. Brandi Love, took to Twitter and addressed Brady's current marital situation, offered to provide some sexual healing. Quote, "Dear Mr. McDreamy, Tom Brady, I'm genuinely sorry to hear about the divorce. It's probably the toughest thing for anyone of any financial situation to go through. If you need a lap to cry in, or if you need any help relaxing, I can help. I've thought about how for a long time." She continued the next post. "I'm not a huge fan of her first cowgirl in real life, but for Tom Brady, I'd do it. If you want to see the picture that accompanied the post, you can head over to Twitter." But basically, she tweeted a graphic photo of herself fucking a guy, and the guy had a Brady face photoshopped on his full name. Okay, that's fucking hilarious.
It's basically the picture that I have here, but if you had the rest of it, and it includes full-on intercourse. I was looking up fucking images for this, and man,
sure, yeah, for research purposes. Yeah,
to add to this, it was hard to find that one GIF because that was like a needle in a haystack of a bunch of porn.
let me do this. Let me do some research here.
But to add on to that,
I do want to add on to that. So I don't know if this is true. It's funny. I put it in the Horny Goat under WTF News. And I actually read this on the show that I did Tuesday. Was it Wednesday?
Oh, was it her talking about
the football show? So here's the quote.
Oh, God, my legs.
Here's the quote from Giselle Bündchen. Look, it's funny. I don't give a fuck what anybody fucking says. If it's not true, I don't fucking care. It's still fucking hilarious. This is Giselle Bündchen talking to somebody when she was asked the question, why are you divorcing Tom Brady, I'm assuming. This all started when we moved to Florida. It was like Tom became a different person the second we crossed state lines. His smooth olive skin turned into chapped, stinging red leather. He started cutting off the sleeves of all of his shirts. Goes grocery shopping shirtless now. Uses the word JIT, J-I-T. He applied a Salt Life sticker to our Range Rover. Salt Life? What does that even mean? I've asked so many people. No one actually knows, but insists that they are living it.
Can I just say that?
I told Tom, it's your supermodel wife or Florida. He looked at me, took off his shirt, and went to go something called a pub sub. He doesn't even eat bread.
That's fantastic. On top of that, I actually found the uncensored picture that Baseman was talking about, and for some reason, when it's totally uncensored, it's even fucking funnier because it's so fucking clear that it's photoshopped. Because like Brady's neck is broken in one direction. Oh my god!
Like this whole Tom Brady situation, it is affecting his play on the field, unfortunately, whether you want to believe it or not. And I kind of find it funny. I didn't know about this Brandi Love thing. I mean, Brandi Love is she's for a 40-year-old woman, she's pretty hot.
She's 4.
Yeah, she's in her 40s. She does a lot of mom porn videos. You know, I fucked my mom in the back seat of a Ford pickup.
Is this from your personal notes or?
No, I've seen it.
You know what? That was Bobbitt's favorite. Mom porn and Asian porn.
Yep, you are correct.
So a mom Asian would just be like a win-win.
Oh, yeah, it's like fucking...
You win a rotary.
Have you noticed since Bobbitt's left, the world has gone to complete and utter shit?
It was on its way, but that was the like straw that broke the camel's back.
I don't know if you heard me, Basement. I said I found the uncensored Photoshop photo that you have.
I was here talking to a muted mic.
Ah, great. It was. I was just saying that it's infinitely funnier when you see it completely uncensored because it looks like Brady's neck is broken the wrong way.
He's in the middle of an exorcism.
Really, like he's watching the game. Yeah. He's watching the fucking game is what he's doing. Like she's watching him fucking him and he's watching the game.
I mean, the one thing that I found
are nothing without me.
The one thing I found like kind of infuriating over this whole thing, like just from like an observation point of view with him is like the more I looked into it, the more I heard that she just was like referring more to like it's either me or football. And I'm like, well, football is this fucking life. Like, he can still like, he doesn't like it's not one or the other. You can still be part of his life while he's got what? Not a lot of time left on the field. Then you have him for everything.
Yeah, I mean
When somebody gives you an ultimatum like that, when it's your like livelihood and what you've like lived for so long.
Here's the thing. I will say this: everybody has been bitching about Giselle Bündchen being the bad guy here. He retired. Then unretired a month later. I can tell you right fucking now, the only reason that he unretired is because Aaron Rodgers didn't retire. He wants to be here's the problem with Tom Brady. Tom Brady is a narcissistic piece of shit. I've said this numerous times. It just shows the kind of character he is. He can't share the spotlight. He's afraid that if he isn't part of what's going on in the world today, when it comes to football, that football will stop existing without him.
He's one of those players that can't exist past the on the field. And I mean, that's what I look at for like a lot of players have that struggle, especially like the people that are top tier. I mean, I'm sure LeBron will, financially he'll be fine, but mentally, I mean, you're still not that old, and he's at the top of trying to compete constantly, like super competitive. You're gonna have to get into some other field that you can be super competitive in.
It had something to do with it, because right when Aaron Rodgers signed his new deal, Tom Brady said, "I'm unretiring." Tom Brady is a self-centered piece of shit.
I'm kind of like, I don't like the idea of anybody announcing retirement just to come out of it, unless it's like I'm retiring for medical reasons, and then you clear those up. It's the one thing that infuriates me with wrestling the most. Especially like the Undertaker. The Undertaker stuff.
Your favorite wrestler?
You know what it is? Like I feel like it just tarnishes your legend.
No, I agree with you.
We're really good friends. I'm not saying that, but I just think he just does not want the spotlight to go off of him. He's afraid that if he does, he'll fade into the night. And I think that's what Giselle wants him to do. She doesn't have to work another day in her fucking life.
Well, the thing is, she is a successful businesswoman by herself. Like, very successful. The thing is but like, it would be akin to him turning around being like, drop everything and be a stay-at-home mom forever. And I don't like.
He has to go business outside of football too.
Yeah, I know, but you know where his passions lie. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anybody should tell somebody to leave something behind, or else if you're in a relationship, because unless what you're doing is illegal or some fucking terrible shit, then what the fuck? It's gonna build resentment massively in the relationship.
I'll use an example. John Elway did not want to retire. John Elway probably could have played for a couple more years, but John Elway knew that he wasn't going to
be all he could be.
He wasn't going to be what everybody wanted him to be, so he left the game. And we're seeing it with Tom Brady. Tom Brady is not playing very good football right now. I'm sorry. You can sit here and tell me that he is, and he is not. Because he did not look very good last week with everybody back. When they played the Packers, they didn't have Mike Evans. They didn't have Godwin. I don't think they can beat the Packers. And the Packers aren't very good offensive. I mean, they're okay offensively. They're not as good as they have been. Tom Brady is declining. He's not the same Tom Brady that we once knew. He should have left the game. He left. He should have left the year before.
Yes.
The thing is with players like that. I mean, this is like I'm gonna relate it to basketball because I know basketball a lot more than football. But like, there comes a time and age where you become second string if you want to stick around. And he doesn't have his ego. It seems like Tom Brady's ego is so large that he won't ever accept second string anything. He won't be.
It's okay.
But like, if he wants to be part of the game, he has to assume a role. He is not bigger than the team.
But somebody needs to tell him it is okay. The game will live on without you. Like, Jesus Christ, you're a part. you will always be considered one of the greatest football players of all time. Actually, you know what?
This reminds me of Michael Jordan,
You'll be one of the
came
greatest
back,
quarterbacks of all time. I hate it when people say he's the greatest of all time. At a quarterback position, that may be, but he could never fucking play defensive end.
He's not a versatile player.
This is why I hate when they do the top 100 players in the NFL. I hate it. Because how can you compare a defensive end to a quarterback? You can't.
It should be.
It's like comparing Giannis Antetokounmpo to LeBron James. They're two different types of players.
When I look at
one's a forward, one's a center.
When I look at best of all time, it's era based and it's position based. Honestly, yes. Michael Jordan is probably the best shooting guard I've ever seen, and that can go with small forward because you can play both.
Yes.
However, he's not the best center I've ever seen.
No.
It's not a role he'll play, right? And I mean, he reminds me of Tom Brady about coming back when he's past his prime and still trying to be like the main guy on a team, or like taking the spot. Like, I mean, it was like a whole like retirement tour with him. Kobe did that too. He did a retirement tour year, which was kind of weird.
Right. I do want to say, I know Federico's like, why are you being so negative on Tom Brady? Look, I think Tom Brady is a fantastic quarterback.
Well,
he did a lot.
He said Tony Brady, but
Tony Brady. It's Tom Brady. He did a lot for the game. But for people to sit here and say he's the greatest of all-time football player ever, like, I don't agree with that. Because he could never play every position. If he could have played on both sides of the ball, I might consider it, but I don't. Tom Brady is slow as fuck.
I feel like that would be like the most versatile player. Like, there's like you have to categorize things, or else it's stupid.
Probably the greatest player of all time to play both sides of the football was Doak Walker.
Tony Brady. Oh,
Doak Walker.
It's a weird way to spell Tom Brady.
Or Jim Thorpe. Jim Thorpe played running back, played quarterback, played defensive back, played linebacker, played every position.
What's a motherfucker that went between that
at every position?
What's the guy's name?
He played back in the 1930s.
What's the guy's name that went between football and baseball and was like really fucking good at both?
Bo Jackson?
Yeah, there you go. Super versatile. Plays multiple sports.
Yeah, but he was never the greatest at it.
Well, he was really good at both.
He was good. He was very good at both.
You see Michael Jordan play baseball? Garbage.
Greatest athlete of all time, and I'll argue it till this day, is Muhammad Ali.
What did he do outside of boxing?
He didn't have to. I said the greatest athlete of all time. So what?
What do you like? That athlete is so broad spectrum, so he could beat everybody in everything.
Not necessarily.
I don't think, like, maybe best boxer of all time, but athlete, I don't know about that. That's such a broad term.
I'm still going with my still pick is of greatest athlete is Tiger Woods, no question. That being y'all, was there anything else? I think we got everything.
Talking about the nude beach woman. You didn't hear about that? This lady, fucking, it was in the Huffington Post, nonetheless.
Yes. He bookmarked it.
So the headline reads, "I raised my kids on a nude beach and I'd do it again in a heartbeat." So apparently this lady grabbed her 11, 9, and 6-year-old daughters, and they decided, listen, this blows my fucking mind right here.
Yeah, Daddy's reading something.
The opening line from her daughter is, and this is from her daughter, and this was done by Nadine Robinson, and it was posted September 14th, 2022. I found it on Twitter. "I cannot wait to get to the beach and look at all of the penises."
Is this like a real thing?
Wheeled by daughter Claire from the back seat of the car. She was 4 when she did this.
She's a penis inspector.
I love how we've gotten to do this is the 40th episode of No Bucks Given, and we can start to see which articles certain members bring to the table, with Gina bringing the murder one, and this is the one that JP brings up.
Well, I mean, she's 4 years old. She's eye level with pretty much all fucking dicks.
News. You wanted to do the what the fuck news, so I'm doing the what the fuck news. That's what the fuck news right there.
What else is she gonna see
Why
when she's
in the
surrounded
fuck
by?
would you take your 4-year-old to a nude fucking beach? Number one. Look, I know we were all born naked. All right.
Not me. I
I
was fully
wasn't.
clothed.
I imagine you probably were. I just wanted to point out that there are some weird ass fucking people out in the world.
It's like, what else is she gonna see at that height? It's
How about
that
this
and the
one?
side of tables. What the fuck? Of course she's gonna
So
focus on it.
So this is a topic, a hot topic in the world of pop culture today.
Is it okay?
The adult Happy Meals.
Oh, that okay. I thought we were still on the same subject. Okay.
McDonald's workers are begging customers to stop ordering adult Happy Meals.
Nope.
In
I'm
a
gonna get one.
nostalgic marketing ploy, the new adult Happy Meals are killing me because they actually have to do something. They actually have to work for their money now.
And you also have the entitled adults. Well, you gave us 2 of the same toy. We want a different toy in each one.
That I can understand. I would look, motherfucker. That's the toy we have. Fucking deal with it.
Why does everything have multiple eyes? What the fuck is this?
This is for Halloween.
Join us. I actually do want to get. I do want. You know what? I'll do this. If you guys can remind me before we do No Bucks Given next week, I'm gonna try and get myself an adult Happy Meal next Saturday. And what's that?
I'll get one
Alright,
too.
awesome. We'll compare and we'll see what the differences are, because I do want to. I do genuinely want to get one of these things just to see how they are and see what the fuck. I think you get like a burger and nuggets and then whatever the fuck.
It's the Big Mac or 10-piece chicken nugget.
Yep, I will go back to this. I'll go back to this. But
I heart
Happy Meals,
McBox.
I will say this right now, and I agree. I don't think that there is the greatest of all time in any one sport. It's somebody will always come out and be better.
What's
Tom
so
Brady
subjective?
will be the considered probably the greatest quarterback of his generation. Got it.
Unless you factor stats into it, like actual like the numbers, and do some crunching, it's all gonna be subjective anyway.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, no
always
matter what, it's
subjective.
subjective, even with
Like,
stats, because like
I don't care about Super Bowls. Me personally, I don't care about Super Bowls.
The
I
thing
think
is-
Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Tom Brady is.
The-
I don't care about how many Super Bowls the fucking guy won.
the thing is too, like if you start comparing like from different eras, the league is different. It's always like evolving and changing. So somebody that might have done very well 30 years ago might have been fucking mediocre now. They'll probably or okay,
Right.
and vice versa, right? Like you never like. It's a stupid argument to begin with, because there's no way to prove any of it. I mean, it does count for like good talking points, and we can discuss like forever who might be in the top 10 athletes of all time just because of what they might have done. But again, it's so subjective.
I just wanted to point that out because they were talking about it in the chat. But I want to go back to the McDonald's thing. So my issue is, you want to be paid $15 an hour.
Who doesn't?
Somebody
If you're
comes
making
to the
less than that.
drive-thru. You want, so the problem is people are bitching because prices are getting too high. People are ordering too many of the adult Happy Meals, which is making the company money, which in turn is paying your fucking salary to push a fucking button for said Happy Meal, taking their fucking money. Look, I used to work at McDonald's. I know how it fucking works. It is not that fucking hard. If you can't work at McDonald's, you
can't work
You
anywhere.
can't work fucking anywhere.
I would say it depends on how busy your McDonald's is.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Oh, it matters.
No, it does not, basically.
Man,
It does
when
not.
every third customer is yelling at you
Basement.
constantly.
Yeah, basement. I live in a touristy area,
Yo,
and we were
you,
busy all the
you live in
fucking
Wisconsin.
time.
There are tourists for Wisconsin because of the historical sites alone.
I'm telling you, man.
I am telling you, we were busy we would have a row of cars up to even like the non-busy hours.
So when that never changes, there's no such thing as non-busy hours.
Correct. But you're telling me just because I live in Wisconsin that I don't see.
I'm just saying working at McDonald's in like Times Square is different.
No, it's not.
It is, man.
It's not that hard. It is not that hard to push a fuck. I did it. It's not that hard.
The job itself is not hard. Keeping composure.
That's what
keeping your composure, because I know you would fucking go off the rails.
Oh, I have done it.
Then you would be fired.
No.
You would be fired from McDonald's. I can tell you that right now.
Oh, if I was to do it now, but back then, no, I held my composure. They would tell me, like, after, if I had somebody, they knew that if somebody came to me and started bitching at me, they're like, you need to go take out the garbage.
Have you seen some of these fucking Twitter McDonald videos where people like jump over the barricades, start beating the shit out of each other?
But real quick, I just need to point this out.
It would be the employee that would fucking hit somebody with a fucking serving tray.
I was gonna say with the serving tray.
Our good friend Frank just did sent me a clip over, which I think we need to use as a future donation, which is the following.
I cannot wait to get to the beach and look at all of the penises. Look, that now here. See, this is what I'm talking about. You take it out of context. This is what the politicians do. They take it out of context.
Your goal for doing that.
You didn't read the whole thing. That is funny, though. That is funny.
Sasquatch looking bitch. I agree with like the idea of McDonald's is not a difficult job.
Look at all of the penises.
Sorry,
McDonald's isn't a difficult job. I feel like dealing with people at any level in the service industry can be very grating, especially with the population explosion we have now. It makes you kind of hate life after a while.
My point is, it's not that hard. People make it harder jobs. People are fucking stupid and they're fucking assholes. And I get that.
That's why I feel there should be 1 month a year.
I get
Retail workers, food service workers should all have that 1 month where they can sit there and tell the customer, you know what? Fuck you. Get the fuck out of my store and sit your fucking ass down.
I want to see a reverse
purge. They have a restaurant that you can do that at. But my point, my point is, it's not that hard to push a button and flip a burger. It's really not.
No, the actual job is not difficult.
No, that's my point. Yeah. But you applied and
but that's not the actual job either.
You are working for $15 an hour, pushing a fucking button.
Or letting the customer do it with the new order kiosk.
Yeah, they do it with the kiosks. No, they have kiosks. Oh, what the fuck is my daughter doing?
Is she wearing a trash bin?
No, it's one of the cooking set boxes that
I think that might be a sign to wrap up this edition.
We had one more, but it's not really anything. Oh, okay. I don't think. I mean, it had to do with fucking. I don't even know if it's. I think it's real, but if she did this, then, she's an idiot anyway. But if Sharon Osbourne donated $900,000 to Black Lives Matter and now wants her money back, she might be the dumbest fucking human being alive.
Well, I think when she did that, and you're right, but I think that she found out that organization is shady.
Man, it's not just that. It's like any organization that's like that. $900,000? What the fuck?
No, it's legit.
Because she is one of those. If you have not paid attention, she's also in the news for the show that she was on, The Talk.
Oh God!
She was on there talking about, they brought up the whole. What was it?
Well, I get the donating so you can kind of claim shit later on.
She was defending Piers Morgan.
She was defending Piers Morgan.
And then everybody on the show turned around and tried to make her seem like the racist.
Yeah.
I guess her inner circle is just as dumb as she is, but like the idea of like throwing
she's
money
not a dumb
toward
woman.
well,
She's not a
$900,000 to BLM. You know, like BLM, like
Yeah, you want to be honest? You know who her husband is, right?
he ate a bat.
Yeah, and he's a billionaire.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think
That
he's a fucking genius.
$900,000 is
It's a
chump
drop in the
change.
Show me what the fuck you do. $1,000.
That's fucking Stephen. That's you hear that? That's Stephen Hawking over there. Fucking guy is dumb as a bag of bricks.
I'm telling you, she's not. She thought she was doing the right thing.
I know, but there's a lot of stupid people that do that,
You are correct,
and I think she's one of them.
but she's not. She's not that kind of dumb.
Well,
I don't know. Well, I mean, I think it's even worse that now she's like, I want my money back.
Don't blame her. Don't blame her.
You know what this reminds me of?
Black Lives
You know what
Matter.
this reminds me of? The Nigerian prince scam.
yeah. Yep.
And how did that work for all those people?
I don't know.
Fantastic.
Some random Nigerian man is now a prince.
As Nigeria. Yeah. As Nigeria. With that being said, I think that's going to do it for this evening. I want to thank everybody for joining us in the chat. We had like some really strong numbers here tonight, which we do appreciate. Obviously, want to thank Basement, JP, and Heather for always participating in the funness that is No Bucks Given, episode 40. Basement, Heather, JP, any last minute thoughts before we wrap it up this evening?
I mean, no.
What was
I'm
that?
not going to go to a beach and hope I see penises. Okay?
Well, you never know.
Just point that out.
Just don't.
He just hopes he can see his after a good meal.
Get an adult Happy Meal. Go to the beach.
Eat a Big Mac while I look at penises. You know.
Saturday
All about
night.
it's all about that secret house.
That's fucking Thanksgiving, baby. For
Make sure you
me.
subscribe, like, comment, share, all that fun stuff. Check us out on your favorite podcasting platform, which will have everything updated tomorrow. Make sure you guys join us as I believe most, if not all of us, will be in the chat for Drew's episode of Derailed Podcast and News tomorrow. So make sure you go give him some love if you haven't done so already. We're going to invade that son of a bitch and spread so much joy and love all over him. That sounded wrong. But you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying.
Beaches in Normandy, baby.
The community post for the latest episode of Horny Goat GM Mode is up on the community post. So we'll be doing the votes over there. If you guys want to vote on which brand you thought did the best as far as SummerSlam is concerned, go check it out. Otherwise, Sunday we'll be over in the chat of Drew's channel. And then Monday, we are back with the Marvel Roundtable with Spider-Man No Way Home, which I have a feeling that one's going to be...
I do want to say, before you vote on anything, please watch the entire show.
And then
Don't
vote for
just
NXT.
watch the show and then be
5
like,
hours.
well, I'm voting for SmackDown because I like SmackDown.
I like that answer.
Well, you would.
Of course I would. Why wouldn't I?
We can't all love penises. Okay.
Oh man, follow us on social media. All the links are in the description. Thank you again to everybody joining us in the chat. We'll see you guys tomorrow over in Drew's chat, and then of course we will also see you guys here Monday for Marvel Roundtable. Until then, peace out, y'all.
Good night, everybody. Good night. Stop there.
Get to the beach and look at all of the penises.
You just don't even know why.
Au revoir, bitch.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
What the fuck's wrong